Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and today Apple finally released iOS 18.6 to the public. Now, I was expecting this update to drop yesterday. However, Apple did not release the update yesterday, but instead they released it today. And it's exactly 1 year after iOS 17.6. Last year, Apple dropped iOS 17.6 on July 29th, 2025 or 2024. And it's been a year since, which is a weird coincidence. Now, as far as the file size of the update, it was 754.6 megabytes. That is on my iPhone 12 in product red. Now, along with this update, we also got iPadOS 18.6, which I'm currently installing on my 2020 iPad Air 4th generation. We also got watchOS 11.6, macOS 15.6, tvOS, and HomePodOS 18.6 as well. And also visionOS 2.6 is out as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the build number and we can talk about what's new. So I go to settings, then general and about, and we take a look at the build number here. It does have a different build number. While I was not on the RC, I believe the build number was 22G84 from the YouTube videos I watch. On here, the build number is 22G86. I'm not sure why there is a different build number. Maybe there is something that's new in the update, but we don't really have any new features. Just like a double point update, this update, while it's not a double point update, it's a single point update, it still doesn't bring a feature-rich pack update. This update is more about fixing bugs and stability, making iOS 18 feel more smooth before we get to iOS 26. And also, it's the last update for iPhones such as the iPhone XR, iPhone XS, and XS Max. Well, to put it simply, it's the last major update. It doesn't mean it's the last update entirely for those devices. Those iPhones that don't support iOS 26, they will get security updates. However, this is just the last major update to those devices. So as far as what announcements this update brings, well, if you live in the EU or China, you will get Apple Intelligence, as this update brings Apple Intelligence to China. And it also hints at new AirTags coming out with this update as well. There aren't really no features, but if we go into apps such as podcast, we wait for it to load. This update does perform pretty smooth. If we do some scrolling here, if we go here, wait for it to load. That did take a second, but it will generally load pretty good. If we go into the app library and we do some scrolling, everything scrolls nice and good. If we go into some apps, let's see if we get any splash screens. We don't get any splash screens in the Home app. How about in the App Store? No new splash screens here. Apple Music, Apple TV, no new splash screens. Shortcuts. We pretty much don't get any new splash screens within this update. But as far as the Geekbench score, well, since this update just installed, I may run a Geekbench score, or I am going to run a Geekbench score on the weekend when I test this update. But I am currently I'm currently installing the update on my iPad Air 4th generation. Now, I may or may not have a separate video out. There probably is no need to, as this update is quite small and it doesn't really have no new features in it. but it does fix bugs. So animations should load up smooth. We go into different apps. Everything should load up smooth. No new splash screens in books or files or even Apple Sports. Or, well, I did just get a notification for WWDC 25, but that already happened. It was a test invite I was going to create. But as far as anything else, well, performance on this update is pretty great. Everything loads up nice and good. So this update will generally fix whatever bugs is on iOS 18.5. Now, I am going to do a YouTube short video, but usually every time a new update comes out, usually the next day, I would have a favorite features video. However, I'm not going to have that with this update as there really isn't anything in it. It just fixes bugs that are in iOS 18.5. So it is a good update to fix whatever bugs are in 18.5 and really give us a new update to try out. As far as what's next from Apple, well, next week is the week of August 4th. So I would expect iOS 26 Beta 5. And that's why Apple probably didn't release this update yesterday, is because every time Apple's been releasing the 0.6 updates, it's been alongside the iOS public beta, or usually they've been doing their updates on Monday. But I guess Apple did not release the update yesterday. They released it today instead. But I would expect iOS 26 Beta 5 next week. And also next week, I would expect iOS 26 to go to a weekly release. So I would expect the beta on August 4th, then another one on August 11th with beta 6, then on August 18th with beta 7, then on August 25th with beta 8. I would expect nothing the week of September 1st with an RC on September 8th. That's when I would expect the iPhone 17 event, then a final release on September 15th. And I am going to have a 20 to 30 minute video followed by a live stream that night. So as far as iOS 18.7, every year it's always rumored that we would get betas, but I know for sure that that's probably most likely not going to happen, because the last time we had a 0.7 update release with multiple betas was with iOS 14. Since then, we've never had a 0.7 update release in the form of multiple betas. Usually, the 0.7 update is going to release with an RC at the same time as the major iOS update, followed by a final release right at the same time as the major iOS update. So if people want to stay on iOS 18, if they have a supported iPhone, they can with iOS 18.7. But I will be updating my iPhone 12 as well as my iPad Air from 2020 to iOS 26. As far as anything else, well, that's it for iOS 18.6. Not really a big update, but it is an update that all of us have been looking forward to, because iOS 18.5 was getting kind of boring to talk about. So we do have a new update to mention. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.